Hello there. Welcome to Harley on the Headlines. There are some interesting things today, almost every day, and as we start, I want to thank you for joining us. You can help too. Just hit like, follow, and subscribe. I am Harley Carnes. The growing negative impacts of the government shutdown are making it more difficult to take an airline flight. The system is safe. It's working because the FAA is reducing the system's capacity, which means, in this instance at least, 10% fewer planes will be allowed into the air traffic control system. That will mean fewer flights, and it could get worse. Air traffic controllers are just people who do a very important high-pressure job. If you take away their paychecks, they can only work for free for just so long. How about you? How would it work in your life? Well, there's really no choice in the matter. They have to find some kind of part-time job just to put food on the table. No one can blame them for that. If the shutdown goes on long enough, the commercial aviation system could come pretty close to collapsing because who's going to control the planes? So call your Democrat senator and tell them, go back to work, stop the shutdown. Only Democrats can do that. If you want legislation passed, work for it, negotiate for it, lobby for it. Don't hold the people hostage to try to force your will. That's called a tantrum. Children do that. Thank God the FBI is still working. Federal investigators have rounded up a third man they say planned a terror attack on Halloween near Detroit. Ayob Nasser is his name, 19 years old. He is ISIS-inspired, according to the feds. Islam considers the LGBTQ plus community among the worst of infidels. The plot was to attack one of their clubs and kill as many people as possible. Guns and ammunition confiscated. Ready for a crusty, misleading media headline? It said, federal immigration agents arrest a U.S. citizen in Los Angeles and drive off with his child. This was an immigration raid at a Home Depot. Makes it sound like another story about a cruel, wrong-spirited immigration raid, doesn't it? Unless you actually think for a second or two. The child is a toddler. He was strapped into a car seat. Does anyone think it would have been better not to drive off with the child? Maybe leave him in the sweltering car would have been better. Or just hand him over to the ravening crowd. Agents were taking the baby away for proper care. Now you want to hear the rest of the story? The Immigrant Defenders Law Center, which was raising the stink over armed men driving off with the baby. That group was asked for help to reunite the family. They refused. They don't represent Americans. Utah Valley University, that's the campus where Charlie Kirk was assassinated, has decided to expand its university police force and add some security managers. Well, the horse is gone. Might as well close the barn door, right? Still, it does make sense to have better security anytime any controversial figure comes to speak, just in case some lawless bunch decides they don't like the things they might say. With so many reports of UFOs, or UAPs these days, and increasing reports of USPs, unidentified submersible phenomena, no surprise the phones were buzzing and trilling and ringing like crazy across much of New England, over Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island a couple of nights ago. A very bright light, a huge spiral in the sky, lit part of the night for a short time, and then it just went away. There was some pretty wild speculation going on. Well, they're pretty sure it was a rocket, an Ariane 6 launched from French Guiana that did it, on its way to placing an Earth observation satellite into orbit. The satellite had to eject some excess fuel from its upper stage. It is nasty cold up there, and the fuel froze into ice crystals. When the fuel came out of the nozzles, it spun in a spiral, and the crystals glinted and reflected light from the sun the way the moon does. Turns out rocket scientists really are fairly sharp. Pretty cool, actually. You're not going to believe this, though. It is true. Remember the Napoleonic jewels robbery at the world-famous Paris Museum at the Louvre? Well, guess what the password was to the security system? Louvre. I kid you not. The security team at the Louvre ain't rocket surgeons. And while we're on the subject of highly intelligent observers of the world, in Ireland, some people called the cops all scared. They said there was a lion on the loose. Police tracked down the beast. It was a sizable dog, a Newfoundland, with a new haircut that created a kind of thick ruff around his head and neck, short over the rest of his body. Did not really look like a lion, at least not up close. He's very friendly, too. Goes by the name of Mouse. True. Mouse. Scary lion. I guess that'll do it for today's Harley on the Headlines. Can't do any more than this. Thanks for joining us. Also, if you get anything worthwhile from these quick visits, please give us a helping hand. I'm hoping you will hit like, follow, subscribe, and pass the word. Thanks again. I'm Harley Carnes, and we'll see you soon.